Kia ora, welcome back to Project Boat. Today, I'll be interviewing Hone. Kia ora, papa.
Kia ora, bai.
For those who don't know you, could you give a brief description of who you are, where you're from, and who you represent?
Yep, my name's Hone Pani Tamati Waka Nene Harawira. With a name like that, I could only ever be the MP for Tautokere. Don't stand a chance being MP anywhere else. My mum is from Whakapara, just north of Whangarei. My dad's mum is buried at the Kotahi Tamamorai in Kaikohe. And my dad's father and my dad are buried in Te Hiku. And my puriri relations are from Ngarara Tunua in Whangarei and Ngāti Whātua down in Tāmaki. So I'm from Tautokere, Whangarei. So that's who I am. Bit of history about myself. Born in Whangarei, raised in West Auckland, been home for about 30 years. Done all sorts of things, all focused on Māori development all my life. Work trusts, trust boards, Māori radio, Māori television, the kura, the kohanga, the whare kura, the wānanga, Taitokere Rugby League most recently. All of those sorts of things which challenge ourselves to be better at managing our own lives and not leaving it for other people to tell us what to do. So, yeah.
Can you tell them which party you represent?
Mana. And just a clarification, Mana is officially listed as a movement.
Oh.
You don't want to be listed as a political party like all the others who, they just do it because they want to get into parliament. Mana is a movement, and it's a movement of the people. And whether you're in parliament or not in parliament, the challenge is on you to do the things that need to be done.
What are your party's intentions and goals?
I'd like to go back to parliament. I'd like to go back to parliament because I think the Taitokere needs a champion. I think the Taitokere needs a warrior. I think the Taitokere needs somebody who has a history of standing up for Te Tiriti o Waitangi, for Māori rights, for those in need, and also the kind of person who challenges himself and others to be better at everything that we do. So that's why I think it's important. Mana's kaupapa is based around our constitutional framework, which is to base the country's future on te wakaputanga, te rangatiratanga o Nutireni, me te tiriti o Waitangi. Nobody else has that. We support the entrenchment of the Māori seats, because Māori should always have political representation. And there's only two parties that support that, Mana and the Māori Party, nobody else. We also support Māori, Te Reo Māori being compulsory in every school in Aotearoa, so that the country learns to appreciate the beauty of the language. And we also want to make sure that Māori kids learn it first. We don't want to go into schools and then find out that everybody else is learning it, and Māori kids are constantly getting pushed out of school, don't get a chance to pick up on it. So, yeah, all of those sorts of things. The things that are important to Māori are important to Mana, but not just for Māori, but for the benefit of the country. I thought the campaign to make Aotearoa smoke-free by 2025, by making it a kaupapa Māori, knowing full well we would have benefit for everybody. The Feed the Kids campaign is based on my knowledge of the fact that we have so many schools in Taitokere that are Decile 1. A lot of our kids come to school without a decent kai. Feed the kids every day at school, and you do two things. One, you help to alleviate their personal levels of poverty, and two, you enhance their ability to learn. So, really simple stuff. It's not rocket science. We want to turn the country around from being one where corporate success is more important than the needs of people, and we want people to be put before profit. We want our whenua to be more important than economic development, and we want water to be in Māori ownership. National says nobody owns it. Labour says everybody owns it. Mana says Māori own it. Nice and simple.
If you were to win the Tai Tukeresi, what changes could we look forward to seeing?
One of the first things I decided I wanted to go back in on was the Feed the Kids bill. Unfortunately, I just missed getting that through just before I came out of Parliament. But I had Mana, the Māori Party, the Greens, Labour Party, and New Zealand First all supporting it. I'd love to get that through because I think it sends a signal to society that we recognise that our children are more important than anything. That if we're not delivering first for our children, we're not delivering for anybody. There's a lot of other things I'd like to do, but the first thing I'd like to do would be feed the kids.
Yeah. For you, what are the main challenges that you're facing at this moment in time?
Nothing special, really. I mean, I don't get weighed down by the expectations of an election and the grind. I'm a happy man. I live in a beautiful part of the country, Muri Whenua. Got a lovely wife, lovely family. Got my mokopunas at home. I get to go for paddle 2-3 times a week. Life is good. I'm involved in really positive activities here in the north and right across the Tai Tukeresi, so I enjoy that. But I also enjoy the challenge of taking the stuff I do when I'm outside of Parliament, which is walking my talk, taking it back into Parliament so I can send a signal to everybody I know what I'm talking about because I walked it the last 3 years. So that the challenge isn't from anywhere else. It's a challenge I set for myself to be better at the things I do when I go back to Parliament by having done the things I've done in the last 3 years.
What do you think today's government is most focused on, and what do you think should be the main focus?
Today's government, national government, their focus is one of putting profit before people, continuing to sell our nation to the best interests of foreign speculators. They want to squeeze the poor and take as much out of the benefit regime as possible to put into the things that are important to them, like the America's Cup and the stock market, all of that sort of thing. And that's the major failure, of course, because you can't enhance people's lives if your focus is only on profit. There's a saying that capitalism puts a price on everything but has value for nothing. And that's the problem with national. They put a price on everything, even including what teachers do. I mean, teachers do what they do because they love teaching. But now government is trying to make out that every teacher should be marked against this and this and this and this. And it's squeezing the love out of it for a lot of good people. And that's sad. It's sad because there's some wonderful people out there doing some wonderful stuff. But it's been turned into a grind. It's been turned into a mill. It's been turned into a place where profit is the ultimate goal. And it should never be. The well-being of people, all people in Aotearoa should be always the ultimate goal. If we have that, then everybody's happy and everybody is benefiting from it. But at the moment, national is most represented by the statistic that 1% of this country owns 50% of its wealth. How sad is that? How sad is that?
As is commonly known, Māori are the majority in most prisons over New Zealand. Have you had a thought about how you could change that?
Yeah, prisons are an ugly place. National, in terms of that whole privatisation thing and putting profit before people, they've actually entered into a contract with a private prison company called Serco. And that contract requires the government to ensure a certain number of bed nights. What that means is the government has to keep those prisons full. And if government doesn't keep them full, Serco can sue the government for lack of delivery on the contract. How sad is that? How sad is that? government has to keep the prisons full. Otherwise, they get sued by the company running the prison. That is sick. But that's the way in which prisons are being run. I'm not a fan of what Calvin's talking about Maori prisons. Hate the idea. Prisons are prisons. I know. I've been in the worst prison in the country, Mount Eden 3 times. I've done time in this. I can tell you, they are ugly, horrible places. Even the new ones. That's just new versions of ugly, horrible places. I support the kaupapa of Harawira, where kaupapa Māori is used to enhance a person's ability to be a better human being, where they are challenged every day to wake up to think better thoughts about themselves, about those around them, so that when they finally come out, they are a way better person than they were when they came in. We do that. We reduce the risk of them coming back, and at the moment I think it's only about 60-70%. Go to jail, get out to go back again. You reduce that. 2, you reduce the cost of ongoing crime, and 3, you reduce the cost that impacts on that person's family if they can see that their dad is more stable, more positive, more engaging in them as a family and in their future as a family. So, yeah, I hate prisons. If we had a prison, I'd say maybe 1 in the country, because there's always going to be those who are too hard to rehabilitate. You've got to have someone to keep them to protect society. But most people who are in prison don't need to be there. Most of our people who are in there are in there for petty offences like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times stop without a license or you're going to jail. Well, how dumb was that? How dumb was that? Or for petty little drug offences. I'm not talking about possession for supply. I'm just talking about smoking the deck and stuff. So we need to take a lot of those people out right from the start and get them a license, like they do up in our Niwiniwa. They give all the kids a chance to get a license while they're at school, that sort of stuff, so that they start life as an adult in a positive way. So that's the sort of thing we need to be doing. But prisons, get Māori out of there, because prisons kill the soul of Māori people. And I know people, I'm talking to some of the brothers, a lot of the Pacific brothers, they lose touch with their own whanaungatanga, with their own Pacific soul when they're in jail as well. Ugly place.
Do you have any ideas in terms of keeping the youth off the streets?
As it happens, I watched what happened down in Kaikohe. Those kids smashed up the school and smashed up the petrol station down there. And I thought to myself, you know, I'd like to take 100 of these kids from Kaikohe and put them on their limited service volunteer program that the Army provides. So I rang a mate in the Army. He said, 100? I said, yeah, why not? Then I went to see the police. I said, are you prepared to back this? He said, shit, that's a crazy idea. Just might work. The issue there, though, is that a lot of people see that as just a boot camp, right? And I didn't want this to be just a boot camp. So I haven't even started down that initiative, because I wanted, first of all, to talk to John Carter, the Mayor of the Whanau District Council, to some forestry gangs that I know, carbon farming, the orchard community out on the East Coast, and some construction crews I know from down in Auckland. I talked to them all, guys. I said, look, these guys go away for 6 weeks. When they come back, I want to keep them for 2 weeks on a marae, probably kohewhata in Kaikohe, and then I want you to come in on a couple of nights and pitch to the boys to take them for jobs. And they went, hey, wow, that's a cool idea. Now, unfortunately, LSV only applies to 17 to 25, but hopefully those kids, when they come back, the younger ones see a better role model, they see a better future for themselves, so they themselves start to see that that's where a good life could be. So I've had an excellent response from the mayor, the forestry, carbon farming, the orchards, and from the construction crews. I've also been talking to North Tech and to Wainaro Aotearoa. Not everybody wants to go to work. Some people want to study. Some people want to lift themselves. They say if we send 100 into LSV, 20% won't come back because they will end up either in the services or pick up jobs while they're away. That's great. But that's my view. You don't just sit back and moan about it. And here's something else too. I'm not a great fan of just opening youth centres. I'm a fan of having a youth centre where young people are challenged to improve themselves and to improve the others that come into that environment. And so that's why I'm trying to do that LSV gig. So yeah, so rather than just have a view about it, I have a view about doing things about it. That's my cocoa.
Well, that just about wraps up our questions that we
Was
have
that it?
now. Now we're gonna start getting into our quick fire questions.
Here we go. These are the tough ones.
Do you have any animals?
No.
None.
No, we got some calves, we got some pigs next door with Porky and in glass in them. Yeah. Which we share, and I expect to get some at Christmas here.
Alright, how many children do you have?
7 children, although my mokopuna has lifted himself up to the ranks of the children, so he says we've got 8.
Oh.
It's K.
What are some of your hobbies?
I enjoy paddling. Because it's a non-contact kind of a sport. It's healthy without having to bash your knees or your arms and stuff like rugby or league. And probably the other thing I enjoy most is just hanging out with the mokopunas. They when life is tough, when the world's coming down on you, there's nothing quite as uplifting for the soul as having your mokopuna. Even when they come in and moan to you about this, that, or come and crying to you, it don't really matter. For me, it's a wonderful feeling.
What are you doing this weekend?
This weekend, I am actually tonight. I'm heading down to Auckland tonight because I'm on the Nation tomorrow, and then I'm back tomorrow because the Taitokara Rugby League semi-finals are on. And this is a competition I started when I got out of Parliament. We only had 3 clubs when I got out. Now we've got our own competition. It's a rebel competition, but we've got 9 clubs. We're bigger than Northland Rugby League already. We're still playing rugby league when rugby league everywhere in Northland is finished and rugby's finished. We're still going. Tomorrow we've got our semi-finals. So I'll go down and do the Nation tomorrow, then come back and watch one of the semi-finals. Then I think I might be on Marae on Sunday back in Auckland, but got to get home for the semi-finals. Ngāti Kahu Sharks, there's the Waimea Valley Crashers. Expect to see you there.
What's your favourite movie?
Couple of them from different ends of the spectrum too, I'd say. Once Were Warriors, simply because it's as painful to watch now as it was when I very first watched it, which means it reminds me constantly of the challenges that we have amongst ourselves out here. The other one is pretty much a nonsense one. It's Forrest Gump. Yeah, I just like Forrest Gump because he's a crazy guy going through so many seminal moments in history. Yeah. So you don't have to think too much about it. You just have to enjoy it.
What's your favourite music genre?
I'd have to say New Zealand reggae and funk. Adija, House of Sham, 1814, Catch a Fire. That's the sort of stuff that I do. Plus, something I've just picked up on, ska. Ska is like early reggae. It was the music that they were playing in Jamaica before reggae became famous. There's a couple of guys in England who do a couple of tracks. Enjoy Yourself and Don't Stay Up Too Late. So it's just, and their music is just enjoyable. I can play it with my mokopuna. I play it for myself. Sometimes if things are really quiet and quite challenging, I'll play the song by the Dwellers called Enjoy Yourself, and it just lifts myself.
What's your favourite colour?
My favourite colour is red, white and black. How's that?
Of course it is.
The colours of the flag. The colours of Tino Rangatirata, the colours of the Māori world.
What's your star sign?
You can work this out. It's a challenge to all of the viewers. My star sign is the same as Jesus Christ, Muhammad Ali, and Elvis Presley. There you go. How's that? You can't work that one out.
I can't.
Good luck, everybody. Jesus Christ, Muhammad Ali, Elvis Presley, and Hone Harawira have all got the same star sign.
What's the best part of your job?
Outside here in the real world, is challenging myself to be positive around other Māori so that they can see that anything is possible. What I liked about Aniwaniwa is that without a lot of the students even noticing, they were growing to a state where excellence became normal, where they didn't even know that they were achieving higher standards than others were at other schools until they left Aniwani. And I always thought that that's what I want for my society. I want our kids to grow up to believe that a healthy lifestyle is the only lifestyle, and that excellence is normal. How's that? Hey, how am I going?
Okay, really good. If you could vote for any other party, which party would it be?
Right now, it'd probably be the Māori Party, because the Māori Party have made a commitment to me to work with mana for the achievement of mana Māori motuhake. And that's something I've always believed in. As you know, I'm a kaupapa man, I'm a tino rangatiratanga man. I was the guy behind the designing of the tino rangatiratanga flag. I'm a firm believer in mana Māori motuhake, and they can help us to achieve that. Apart from the Māori Party, of all of the other parties, my only other choice would be the Greens.
Well, that just about wraps up our interview for
wow,
today.
was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, thanks for coming on to today's episode of Project Vote.
Thanks for having me. Kia ora koutou.
Kia ora tau.
I'm not like other people who think that youth should vote, because if they don't, they can't make a difference. I think that Ngātahi should look at the world and ask themselves what is it that they want to achieve in the world. And if that can be achieved by voting for a particular person or a particular party, then vote. But if not, don't allow somebody else to push you to do something that you don't want to do. That's my view. Mana's whole kaupapa is about helping whānau to be stronger in themselves, to believe in themselves, to see a pathway for themselves, and to believe that they can manage their own future. That's what I want for Māori people generally, the whānau that I work with, the rangatahi that I work with, the kura that I work with. Those are the things I want for them. I want them to believe that they can be better. And if being part of that means, yeah, I'm good enough to vote, and I want to challenge that person to be better at representing me and my interests, then go and say that to them. Don't just be a drone and vote because everybody says you should have to. Vote because you want to, and vote only for the person who touches your heart and your soul. Kia ora tātou.